Hi, everyone. Welcome to One Nation. I'm Brian Kilmeade. It can only mean one thing. It's Saturday night, and you're watching. Thank you for that. We begin with the power of the House. Yes, this is a week in which we are still waiting on a few election results, and we do know, though, mostly what the leadership team will be like for both Democrats and Republicans. Now, for the GOP, their biggest victory by far, winning the House. And without any legitimate contenders, you got to feel Kevin McCarthy poised to become the 118th Speaker of the House. Meanwhile, in the past, with the right person at the right time, this position has been one of extreme power and prestige. If wielded correctly, can McCarthy do that? The Speaker position could almost be as powerful as anyone in the country, including the President. In fact, it's happened in the past. There are three men I want to share with you their careers and how they stood out. Let's begin with Joe Cannon. He ruled with an iron fist and fiercely fought for the rights of the House, pledging to battle the domineering Senate. As one of the most powerful and colorful speakers in history, major reform bills became law, including progressive measures like the Pure Food and Drug Act. But he was often accused of putting the interests of businesses above people. But he got things done. Then there's Sam Rayburn. You probably heard of him, the longest-serving Speaker for a staggering 17 years, known as a master negotiator. He was the epitome of legislative ethics. For example, he wouldn't even allow lobbyists or taxpayer money. He wouldn't allow them to buy him a meal or use their money, and even insisted on paying his own way, whether traveling to a speech or going overseas. He helped launch careers like LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, a future president, but first a majority leader of the Senate at the time. He worked across party lines. That's what he was known for. Not only did Rayburn get measures passed like the first Civil Rights Act and Medicare, but most notable, he expanded the membership of the House Rules Committee to help President Truman's legislative proposals pass. And they did it by a narrow margin of 217 to 212. That's roughly what we're dealing with now. Now, when first-time members entered Congress, Rayburn would always give this word of advice. Here's the phrase. He'd say, if you want to get along, go along. Get it? Play team ball. What about Tip O'Neill? He would do nothing without, he knew nothing about Ronald Reagan until Ronald Reagan got the job as president and went to Washington. During the Cold War, he had to walk a fine line between giving in to a popular conservative president, which he wasn't, and maintaining his party interest. He's a Democrat. Now, Tip opposed Reagan on issues from tax cuts to massive defense spending to the so-called Star Wars program. But through it all, we don't hear enough about this part. They both would call each other friends.
I think you know Tip and I have been kidding each other for some time now, and I hope you also know how much I hope this continues for many years to come. A little kidding is, after all, a sign of affection, the sort of things that friends do to each other. And Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful you have permitted me in the past, and I hope in the future, that singular honor, the honor of calling you my friend.
Is that possible? Can Kevin McCarthy do something like that at this point with both sides dug in and supposedly both parties very polarized? Is it possible? Could that set the tone for the country if there could be a friendship between McCarthy and Biden?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.